When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line.
I can taste triumph with the heart of a lion.
When victory alone isn't enough, you chase something greater, no matter how difficult the path, on the dirt, in the sand, and beyond. The new 2024 Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot, part of our most rugged trail sport lineup yet. From Honda.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. We're always glad to get updates from Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. Best way to do that, Commander Lonnie Cavalier. Commander, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Keith. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, let's jump right into it. We got an ICE arrest. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Ronald DeMonte Frazier.
Yes, Ronald DeMonte Frazier, 24 of 136 Palm Lane, Labradorville, was arrested yesterday afternoon on felony charges arising from an attempted traffic stop turned pursuit near Labradorville. A uniformed patrol deputy assigned to the ICE detail observed a southbound vehicle on LM1 south of Napoleon commit a traffic violation and attempted a traffic stop of that vehicle. The suspect accelerated, engaging the deputy in a pursuit situation exceeding speeds of 100 miles per hour. The suspect crossed over to LE 308 at the Supreme Bridge and headed south. The suspect continued on into Lafourche Parish and into Thibodeau, where the vehicle pursuit ended. The suspect, now identified as Ronald DeMonte Frazier, was captured after a brief foot pursuit. A K-9 conducted an open-air sniff of the suspect vehicle and alerted positive for the presence of controlled dangerous substances. A subsequent search of the vehicle resulted in the seizure of illegal narcotics. A juvenile occupant requested to be released during the pursuit, but the suspect refused, thus leading to the kidnapping charge. Ronald DeMonte Frazier was booked into the Assumption Parish Jail on charges of simple kidnapping, possession with intent to distribute marijuana, possession with intent to distribute oxycodone, aggravated flight from an officer, illegal carrying of weapons in the presence of controlled dangerous substance, illegal use of controlled dangerous substance in the presence of persons under the age of 17, resisting an officer, possession of drug paraphernalia, and disregarding a stop sign, as well as speeding. Ronald DeMonte Frazier remains incarcerated without bond at this time.
And again, it's one of those things we're always very, very glad for those ICE units that can conduct that traffic stop, turn into, and figure out what else is going on and be able to bring that person to justice and get them off the street. So we appreciate that. All right, let's talk about this next traffic stop with some drug law violations.
Yes, this was in Pierreport. Rachel Deggle, 57 and 137 Riverbend Street, Pierreport, Louisiana, and her sister, Julie Deggle Trosclair, 71 of 1019 Bell River Road, Pierreport, were arrested on felony drug charges arising from a traffic stop near LA 70 and Shell Beach Road. A narcotics officer observed the vehicle commit multiple traffic and equipment law violations and executed a stop of that vehicle. The officer proceeded to interview the driver, now identified as Rachel Deggle. The officer noted behavior consistent with illegal drug activity. The officer then conducted an interview of the passenger, now identified as Julie Deggle Troxclair. During the interview, Julie Deggle Troxclair was found to possess a quantity of methamphetamine on her person. Rachel Deggle consented to a search of the suspect vehicle, at which time quantities of Adderall, clonazepam, and drug paraphernalia were seized. Additionally, quantities of methamphetamine were seized from the interior of the vehicle, which was attributed to Julie Deggle Troxclair. Rachel Ann Deggle was arrested and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession of clonazepam, possession of Adderall, possession of drug paraphernalia, no seatbelt, and no driver's license. Rachel Ann Deggle remains incarcerated with bond set at $10,000. Julie Deggle Trosclair was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. She remains incarcerated with bond set at $20,000. Julie Deggle Trosclair was also charged with the probation violation, and she was ordered held without bond. Both females are currently housed in the Lafourche Parish detention center.
You know, it's so very interesting to me, age 57 and 71. I guess if you have that kind of life or lifestyle, doesn't matter what age you are, those people can still have some issues with substance abuse or substance control problems.
Yes, very repeat offenders, both of them.
Yeah, as we kind of see that. I think we have one more to go over, and this one was some failure to appear warrants in a felony.
Herbert Dwayne Dierensburg, 17 of 132 Jacob Street, Bertrandville, Louisiana, was arrested in connection with an incident near Bertrandville. Deputies were dispatched to a residence in the 100 block of Jacob Street in reference to a disturbance with firearms involved. Deputies made contact with the complainant, who was also the victim, who advised that Kirby Dwayne Dierensburg had fired a gun at him during a verbal dispute. Detectives initiated an investigation and at the conclusion arrested Kirby Dwayne Dierensburg. The suspect, Dierensburg, was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of illegal use of firearms or dangerous instrumentalities and aggravated assault with a firearm. Dierensburg remains incarcerated with his bond set at $60,000.
And again, you go over all of these different situations, and we have various ones, but we talk about the excellent identification and identifying and clarifying at the scene, gathering information, and being able to make sure that we can make an arrest for the accurate people that are happening. And those three great examples of that with the excellent work being done at Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office.
Yes, and that's patrol. We undervalue our patrol units all the time, but they are the most important part of the operation, as they're always the ones on scene first.
And they really are, and we appreciate it. I know it was Officer Appreciation Week last week, but I got to tell you, we're very thankful and appreciative for what y'all do and how well y'all do it, and doing it with other agencies as well. So thank you so very much for your time, Commander. We appreciate the updates today.
We appreciate y'all as well. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk soon. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more Bayou Time when we continue.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.